Good day, folks. Today I'm going to be reviewing and showing you how to play the game Dawn. Now in Dawn, you're going to be trying to build towns and fend off threats, and you're going to have the opportunity to try to either win the game for yourself or to try to assist in helping the others win. So check it out. So in this game, the main object is you're going to be trying to build towns, and you've got one of two roles you can play as. You can play either as the allies or the scoundrels. Now throughout the game, you're going to be able to switch roles depending on how many treasure cards that you have here in your stockpile. If you have 7 or more, you're going to be playing the role of the scoundrel. So anyway, here's some of the cards. These cards right here, these 4 are what are called the Great Town cards. This is going to tell you how many points they're worth. This is the resources that you're going to need in order to build it. And you're going to be checking this at the end of the game to see if you've accomplished this. And this is going to happen at the end of 6 rounds. And here is a quick look at all of the Great Town cards. Right over here are town cards, and there's going to be different types of town cards over here. The main thing is this is going to be how many resources it's going to take to build this particular one here, and on the back it's going to tell you how much it's going to be worth, and this is going to be worth 10 prosperity points. Right here you've got what are called threat cards, and you've got 3 types. You've got the barbarians here, you've got the plague card here, and then you also have bandit cards. Now right here on the bottom is going to be the resources required to defeat these cards. Now over here in the middle, you're going to put out a number of cards depending on how many players there are. You're going to put out 5 cards, and right now I've got 2 threat cards, and then I've got 3 town cards. And what we're going to be doing in the game is we're going to be playing cards to these different towns, or over here to try to get the resources required to either defeat these threats or to try to build these towns and gain the point. Right here are the resource cards, and these are going to come in 4 different suits. Each suit is going to have a different ability, which I'll share with you. But right over here on the card, this is going to tell you what the ability is. This is also going to tell you how much it's worth. This one is worth 1 negative treasure. This one is worth a positive treasure, and this is its ability. Here's another one. The yellow cards are wild cards, and you use these to perform any of the actions of the other cards. This card will allow you to heal a wound. If you play 3 of these green cards, and it doesn't matter how many treasures they have, you'll be able to heal one of your wounds or an opponent's wound. This is the spy card. What the spy card will allow you to do is it's going to allow you to pick 2 cards that are over here in the Great Town pile and see if any of them are negative cards, and you can go ahead and discard the negative. This one is an attack card, and what this card will do if you decide to play it by itself is it'll allow you to secretly look at 2 cards of a great building and remove 1 from the game by discarding an attack resource card. So what you would do is you would just simply play this here, pick 2 cards that you see here, and then if you choose to, discard 1. This is the spy suit. And what this will allow you to do is allow you to secretly look at the other side of a face-down threat or town card, so you would be able to just simply look underneath it to see what it is. And right here, these are your wound cards. In the beginning, everybody is going to be receiving 2 of these, but you will be able to heal these using the green suited cards. So the first thing everybody's going to do is you're going to go ahead and choose one of these cards to put over here in your storehouse. And again, you have a choice to try to hoard treasure cards like this and get 7 or more to be the scoundrel, or you can just kind of play any type of a card to keep it under 7 and be an ally. So let's just say for player 1, I'm going to go ahead and play this card face down. Now one thing I can do is I can swap cards from here to here if I would like to, but you're going to do this at the beginning of each round. There's going to be 6 rounds. So what you're going to do is you're going to take whatever cards you want, and you can play cards over here to try to meet these requirements, play cards over here to meet these requirements, or you can play the abilities which are dictated by the suit, like again, this is the spy card. So right now I'm looking at this, and so let's just say I decide I'm going to go ahead and contribute this card. I'm going to play it face down here. Let's say I'm going to go ahead and play this card here, and then I'll also play this card over here like so. And let's say I decide I'm going to go ahead and discard this card, and I'm going to look at this card face down for myself to see what it is, and it's worth 12, so that will go ahead and take care of that. So I'll discard this card, and then it's going to go to the next player. Now I have a first player marker here. Once it goes to the end of the round, it's going to swap over here. So let's look at player 2. Let's say player 2 is looking, and let's say he kind of wants to maybe be a scoundrel. So he'll go ahead and put this face down. She's got a lot of positive cards, so she might want to consider trying to be a scoundrel. So let's say she just plays this one face down. She's not going to really be able to sabotage anything. There are cards that you can use to kind of sabotage. So let's just say she decides she's going to play 1 here, and let's say she decides she's going to go ahead and play 2 here. which you can save for later, and that'll be the end of her turn. And it goes to player 3. Player 3 looks and says, well, I might try to be a scoundrel, so he'll put that there. And let's say he decides he's going to put this negative card right over here, face down. Let's say he decides he's going to put this negative card here, face down. And let's just say he decides he's going to do it again over here, and then he decides that's going to be the end of my turn. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and look at your cards to see if you've met the requirements of the town or of any of the plagues that the cards were put on. So right here, this is worth 8. They did not meet the requirements, so those are going to be discarded, and this is going to be taken out. You look at this card, this has 3, and this has 3, so this has been defeated. If it had not been defeated, you would go ahead and turn it over and then follow the instructions here. And then we go to this card, which requires 6 treasures, and these are going to be shuffled when you before you check them as well. So this has 3, but there are 2 negatives here, so then this card is also going to be removed. And then you're going to go ahead and replace these cards with the threat cards and with the town cards. And then you're going to go ahead and swap over the first player marker. So essentially, that's the way the game is going to work. At the very end of the game, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and count up all the town cards and count up all of these cards that were completed. And you're going to see if you've reached 30 points. After you'll resolve the great town cards first here, and you'll add up the total prosperity points, and you'll add those to the town buildings. And if the total meets or exceeds 30 prosperity points per ally player, then the ally players are going to win. If it happens not to, then it's going to go down to seeing if a scoundrel wins. So what you'll do is each scoundrel is going to go ahead and reveal their cards to see what their treasure count is. If their treasure count is 7 or more, then they can go ahead and be known as a scoundrel. And from then on, whichever scoundrel has the most amount of treasure is going to win the game. Dawn is a unique game. If you've ever played a game where you're going to be taking the role of a villain or of a hero, typically you're going to be staying as one of those two things, and the reveal isn't going to come till the end of the game. With this game, you can change it up. If you don't want to be a villain, you can switch back to being an ally or vice versa. A lot of it's going to depend on what cards you get. If you end up getting like a lot of treasure cards, you may want to consider, okay, well, I can go ahead and stash some away since I have a ton of treasure cards anyway. And another thing in the game they encourage you to do is to do table talk. So you can try to fake out your opponents. You can try to say, well, I'm going to go and help and do this, but instead you end up playing a card that sabotages. And then when you're testing the cards out, you're shuffling them up, and nobody knows really what cards have been played. However, there are ways you can try to mitigate that with some of the special powers. You've got certain cards that you can play on the gray towns to try to see if you can find any of the sabotage cards and kick them out. The game is very easy to learn, doesn't have very long instructions. You can probably learn the game in about 10 minutes and get right into it. The cards do offer you a lot of options as well. You have the suits that are going to give you the different abilities that you can try to use, or you also have the different items on the cards that can either help you to sabotage work, or you can try to use them to try to help build the towns as well. And of course, you can also try to build on the big towns themselves. So you do have some decision making that you need to make in this game. You're going to really be trying to balance out what's going on in the game with what you're trying to do to win the game, and then at the same time talking to the other players as to what you want to do, or maybe even telling them what you think they want to hear, but you're actually doing the opposite. So there's a lot of cool little things going on in this game. It's real easy to learn. You've got decisions that you can make. You can change up the roles, and I like it. I think it's a game, if you are a person that likes to play reveal games, meaning that there is a reveal at the end of the game, whether you're a hero or villain, I would definitely check this out because the roles can change. It's fun. I enjoy it. All right, guys, that's my review of Dawn. We'll see you. Keep on gaming.